What the colonizers brought was religion, spirituality packaged in man-made forms. And that is why, therefore, you have things like Roman Catholic. You have organizations such as the Anglican Church, the Presbyterian Church, the Episcopalian Church, the Methodist Church. That is religion. Religion is organization of spirituality into a formal thing, which is then controlled by man, claiming to represent God. Africans are therefore spiritual. And I do not want the word spirituality to be used as if it were a synonym of religion.
Learn the history, share the truth, stand for justice.
Hey, this is Janetta, and guess who I have here? Uh-oh. I think I forgot his name. Frank. I got Frank here. Woo! This 82-year-old man.
You're very Frank.
Yay! Well, I have with me Frank, and we're going to be discussing religion.
Oh. Amazing topic.
Okay, Frank. Hey, tell him what your last name is, Frank.
My last name is Kenyanya.
Oh,
so my country, you just
know, a guy
Adanya.
come up talking about, my name is Kenyanya. Ooh, sexy. Kenyanya. Okay, go on. I'm sorry, I can't go off there. You know
I love that.
And give me 82. Give me some excuse. I mean, so Kenyanya.
Yeah.
And what was the last one after that? Because I got turned on with Kenyanya.
Yeah.
Frank Kenyanya.
Frank Kenyanya.
That's it?
Yeah.
You don't
Frank
have
Kenyanya. The last one is Nyakwara.
Yakwara.
Nyakwara.
Ooh, girls, is he good looking? Because I mean, you know, I like the way he talks. Okay, Frank, I'll try to compose myself.
Ooh.
Oh, a little bit. Yeah, I am. And, you know, we're going to talk, we have a discussion about religion because one thing, since I've come here to Africa, man, they praying on every corner, every house. Now Kenya is not as religious, as holy as Tanzania is, or Rwanda, or even Uganda. Because I was in Uganda, I heard a lot of praying. But here, maybe it's where I live. Maybe that might be it. But in Tanzania, you hear praying all the time. Okay. I don't know if they have more to pray for or what, but you hear praying all the time. And Kenya, here, Frank, what is the, is it stronger in Muslim or stronger in Christianity?
Kenya is actually strong in Christianity. We have probably more than 100 denominations, which are all Christian based. And actually the reason as to why you're saying that Uganda and Tanzania could be holier or more religious than Kenya is because of the place you're living. You've actually not been to other places where probably in the next like 10 minutes you have a church. You cross 10 minutes again, you have another church, and there is noise all over in the neighborhood. So that is actually the picture that is in there. I could call them in the slum areas, the slummy parts of.
They got reason to pray in the slum, I'm telling you.
Probably, yeah, they have their reasons.
I mean, that's what they say anyway. Go on.
Yeah, and I also feel like there is quite a misunderstanding when it comes to religion and Christianity in Kenya, because all these things I feel like the ideas are bringing in more division rather than bringing us closer to God.
You got 100 denominations.
Yeah, and more than 100 denominations, and all these people think you know, they have a different concept or probably a different idea of who God is. And so all these, we just feel like, you know, for me, I am a Seventh-day Adventist, and you know, I ascribe to the beliefs of Adventism, and I feel like I love Adventists more than other people. So it feels like it's so automatic for most of us, because the whites brought such kind of ideas. Oh yeah,
they brought it in. They took it from us, and they brought it. They do like everything else. They took Christianity, and it wasn't called Christianity then, but they actually took a worship, a spiritual worship from us, and then fed it back to us.
Actually, and while we were in school, we were being taught, you know, the way religion came to Africa, that it was brought by missionaries, people like is it Ludwig Kraft, such like names, but practically there was religion in Africa. I could call it, there was a sense of worship in Africa, which was basically not the Christian and Islam and Hinduism stuff that was brought.
No,
by the
it
whites.
wasn't. We always
wasn't such way.
believed in a creator.
Yeah, we always
God,
believed
always believed in a creator.
in a supernatural person.
We believe in creator.
Yeah,
We didn't believe in a whole bunch of other gods.
exactly.
Yeah, but we believed in one, a creator, that we were created. And we weren't, while Europe was, that areas and other areas were bowing down to statues, and they had the goddesses and gods and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They were totally different. And remember that they came in and they actually killed the leader of Christianity, the one that they made us call Jesus now, which is not his name, but they gave him that name in Greek. He's not a Greek.
Okay.
And so the English and the Catholic Church took it over, and took it. Constantine said he saw the light, but he built Christianity based on political.
Yeah, exactly.
Christianity is very political.
Actually, Constantine himself was a political emperor.
Well, that's what Christianity is, very political.
Exactly.
He saw the power of it, and he embraced it because of that. And there's 88 books, but there's 81 that have been publicized and embraced, and that's in the Ethiopian Bible.
I'm interested in understanding that more. What happened really?
The Council of Nicaea, they had quite a few councils of Nicaea, but the last one that they had, and they took the other books, they took out books they felt like were not appropriate or whatever. And so the book we have has 66 books, and so the other books we don't have.
So they took off like 82?
They took
22?
out the books.
So could it be that the 22 books were talking about something they didn't ascribe to?
Oh, they didn't want to ascribe to, because it talked more about the freedom you have.
Ah, interesting.
And the knowledge of then the connection that we really have with the Most High. And so the book of Enoch is very interesting, and the book of Jubilees. And so they built the Bible basically on control, on imperial or political control. That's why they have in there that God picked our leaders. And they put it, they actually did quite a bit with the Bible. The Bible you read has been really placed to make it look like it's not inclusive of us as a people, Africans.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so they brought you their religion, and it's hard to get away from you all.
So do you actually read the Bible?
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, that's why I believe what I believe, because I read the truth in the Bible. I didn't listen to what the preacher said. I read and researched, and when I researched and read, half the things I was taught were not true.
You believe in the entire Bible, that it was an inspiration from God?
No, I believe it's a what do you call plagiarized inspiration, where they added some of their stuff in it.
Yeah.
I don't believe a lot of things are in there because they're not true.
So you believe that it's purely inspired by God? Or
Purely.
Probably someone else added a few other things along the way?
Let me ask you something.
Ask me.
When you interpret something, if you interpret something, you interpret it based on your understanding, your beliefs, and your truths, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so as it said, the God used these people to interpret it.
Okay.
They interpret it according to their culture.
Okay, interesting. I love that.
Okay, so that's their interpretation.
Yeah.
And the Bible is very political, and we see that Bible has been very effective in enslavement and in colonization. In fact, when they colonized, first thing they did was send missionaries down here to change things.
Yeah.
And what they did was they changed everything. You were pagans. You were witches and everything you did was the devil, and
Yeah.
you swallowed that. You didn't really swallow that. You were forced into it.
Our grandfathers actually.
They were forced into
Yeah,
it.
they were forced into it.
And those people took control. And if you didn't follow their song, you either got killed, or your kids couldn't go to school,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Or excommunicated from the society.
Yeah. They did that not only in Africa, they did it in Costa Rica too. They did it in Central America too. The Catholic Church came over. That's why most of Central America is Catholic. They came over and they have the same problem with them. You know, those people in that part of the world, their names weren't what they are now because of the Spanish that took over. The Spanish brought the church over.
Yeah.
So they converted all their names and everything. So you ask a Costa Rican, what was your great-great-great-great-grandfather's name? They can't hardly tell you.
That is exactly what is happening in Africa right
Yeah.
now. Because currently, you began by asking me my second name, and I told you my name is Kenyanya. But on top of Kenyanya, I have an English name that is Frank, which came from the whites. My grandfathers didn't know anything about Frank. And I believe that, you know, most children being born today, they're given like 2 English names without some African name thereabout. So probably someone is called Brian Kevin.
Well, I'm going to show you when we get finished with this, Frank, what that does to you. See, me, Janetta, Ann Owens Taylor was my maiden name from my father, but those are slave master names.
That's English, yeah.
No, those are
It's not
slave
English.
master. What I'm saying, it's not about English.
Okay.
Those are slave master names.
Okay.
My slave owner, I have his name
Okay.
as being owned as a slave. I have no history.
I see that.
I don't know who I am. But let me tell you something about the slave. See, when they took us on those ships, every black person in the world is all over the world wasn't because they were taking on slave ships. So if you think that it's not true, you need to read. There's a lot of information now that you can read about history, about our history as a people. There were Africans in the United States and Americas, in the Americas, in Mexico, in all those parts before the slave trade, before the Europeans. You see, we were here 300,000 years. They've been here 60,000 years. And those 300,000 years, we've traveled and spread out all over the world. So to think we didn't have ships and things before when they didn't know about navigation is a lie. That's their lies that they've told us.
Wow.
Okay, so you need to read your history. There's a lot of things you need to read. And then after you read your history and find out some truth, then you talk to me about your religion.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's
this is the thing about it. When we were slaves, we used to have our customs. We still practice some of our cultural spirituality. It wasn't religion, it was spirituality.
Yeah, it was spirituality.
Okay,
Yeah.
because we worship the Most High.
Yeah.
We
The
practice
Creator.
that. We practice that, and we had the belief in healing. We had the belief in getting information from above, spiritual information, spiritual divination. We had the history of that, and they would see us do things that would come about, and they were fearful of it.
Yeah.
And in order to control us, they gave us religion, just like they made us not keep our names. They wanted to do everything for us to wipe out our whole culture, period. Because before that, they thought we were not good enough to give a religion to.
Yeah.
So this Christianity too. So the first Bible they gave us didn't have anything in there but the fact that Noah's son was sinned against Noah, and they made it look like that sin turned him black. That's what they had in there.
Yeah.
Religion, unfortunately, is a man-made device. And it's designed to mentally enslave the masses. Now, the people that formed religion started out in spirituality long before religion ever existed. So everything started within the mystery schools. These mystery schools were taught by people like both the Atlantean and other mysteries teachers around the world. And only people who are called adept initiates were allowed to come in and learn this information.
Okay,
in other words, I see something special in you. This kid, this child, or this man is gifted, or this woman is gifted. I'm going to bring them in, and they're going to get this secret knowledge. It's hand-picked people, and so they would have it. They would keep this knowledge secreted, so that if it got into the wrong hands, they knew what would happen. It would turn into something like religion, for example, right? Over time, when these masters left or disappeared or whatever happened to them, the general people who did have this knowledge began to spread out and continue to teach, but they started allowing more people in and more people in, and these mystery schools then sprung off and became secret societies. Skull and Crossbones originates from the mystery schools. All these other secrets, the Illuminati and all these mysteries, all these secret societies originate from the ancient mysteries. There you can see it, the split in the division. They went dark, some went light, some went dark.
And then they had cut all the rest of the Bible out. Then they put the New Testament in there, and not all the New Testament. But in there where it said slave, obey your master, they put stuff in there like that. So, and that they showed that had an effect. Because after we had been with them and they gave us something, that means they gave us maybe a day off and we could have some services there. But the shouting the black person does in church now. When I was a kid, you get up and shout, woo, woo, hallelujah, hallelujah. That's our custom.
You could actually shout in church during those days.
Sure. You can shout in church now. Y'all don't shout. You come from that white church that don't shout. Okay, that's what it is.
Okay, I also love
Seventh-day Adventist is not an old religion. That's a new religion.
Actually, the Seventh-day Adventist Church came from the Catholic Church.
All of them come from the Catholic Church.
Yeah, all of them rooted
Everybody
from the
was Catholic. That's a Catholic Bible.
And this came about probably around the 15th, 16th, and 17th centuries.
Seventh-day Adventists, Eliot Watson and White didn't come around way back there.
Yeah, by reformers such as Wycliffe, we had John Wycliffe, we had Martin Luther, all these people, they had to most of them used to read their Bibles, as you just put it. They used to read their Bibles for themselves. They didn't want to hear whatever the priests were telling them, and they identified a few errors within the church and wanted to reform and get out of the church. And actually, some of them were excommunicated, others were killed, others were banned. Actually, there's a guy called John Huss and his friend called Jerome. They were banned in a furnace, and all these things, as much as they also, we are carrying them right now, we don't really understand that they were brought by the whites. And as you've rightly put it, they had an agenda in all these things, and the first agenda is manipulation, to get these ideas rooted in our minds, such that whatever they tell us, we do it, because they planted fear in us. Because there's a verse saying that listen to be subject to your masters, and that is one thing that they used to do during your time, as you've rightly put it. And on the giving away of names, or probably giving our fathers different names, I think that is something that also happened in a story given in the Bible, when Daniel went to Babylon. Daniel and his friends went to Babylon, and their names were changed, their identities were also changed. But for Daniel and his friends, they didn't forget whatever they were taught by their forefathers. But for us, we've forgotten everything, and we're just buying every religious idea that
we bow down. We bow down
to everything.
We bow down.
Yeah,
we didn't want that king to throw us in no lion's den.
Yeah, exactly.
So we bowed down, and he said, "Change the name." We changed the name.
Yeah.
But some of us did not bow down. I mean, you were right. I mean, I'm not saying the Bible is wrong, but it's been wrongly given to us.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, because it's been given to us by people that were killing.
Yeah.
People that were raping.
Yeah, true.
People that were doing all these kinds of things and robbing and stealing everything, they bought us their Bible, and they bought Christianity. Christianity is very bloody.
Yeah.
It has killed a lot of people.
It has.
Muslim too. I mean, all the religions, because they enslave people and they force them to take their religion and their culture.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, you know, they all say they worship God.
Yeah.
Or Muhammad or not Muhammad.
Yeah.
What do they call Allah?
Yeah, Allah.
They call God Allah. So they worship Allah.
Yeah.
And, excuse me, if what is said is true, let me just explain this.
Okay.
The Chinese are not in the position that we're in, and they didn't change their religion. So to change their religion was supposed to put us in we should be in a better spot than the Chinese, because they don't believe, period. Okay. The Indians that you're among, most of them didn't change theirs.
Actually true.
In total. Yeah. They didn't change. They got a few Muslims, they got a few Hindu Christians, but Indian Christians, but not much. But we're the only group of people that totally changed everything.
Yeah. Actually, I also agree with that, because I am alluding to the fact that Indians already, they still, ascribe to their religion. They still have their traditions, everything. I also loved another conversation in your channel about unemployment in Kenya. That is also the fact that Indians kept their religion. It has helped them to keep their traditional ideas, their culture and everything, such that they still have businesses, family businesses that help them grow the economy. But in Kenya, most of us, I think some other thing that is happening right now in Kenya, most people are even investing in churches than actually in businesses. People are giving more, like stuff like tithe, giving like 50% of your land to the church builds there, the pastor lives there, you're gifting the pastor a lot of large tracts of land, while for you're living in poverty. I think it's one thing that is escalating the poverty levels in Africa, especially in Kenya, because it is actually happening right now in Kenya, because so many people are giving up their lands, their valuables for the sake of religion. Recently we have a case, what was it called? This guy who brought a lot of masses. Was it Shimolatewa? What is the name of that guy? Yeah, Shakahola. So there's this pastor guy who brought different ideas, instilled them in the minds of his followers, telling them that Christ is coming soon. So just sell all your lands and give the money to Christ. And in this case, he's the Christ. He's saying that give the money to Christ, but he's the one receiving the money and all those properties. So there are a lot of people dying. There are a lot of children that died out of hunger. And when all those bodies were being exhumed, it was so inhumane. And all these things in the name of religion.
Yeah, but why didn't Jesus do something about it?
It beats me.
Why didn't he do something about it?
It beats me, because I don't really understand.
I mean, why did Jesus allow those people to die?
Is there
when he saw that, how come he didn't? Why wasn't that man struck down because he's doing all that lying in the name of the Most High?
Some other thing that we've been forced to believe is that everything happens for a reason. And
the reason was that man was crazy. Yeah, that is the reason.
Yeah, and God allows things to happen for a reason that you understand.
That's a lie.
You don't believe in that?
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's what they have given us, because what they were doing wasn't working. I'm going to tell you something. The majority of the stuff in that Bible that talks about things is you. Sometimes God is doing so much stuff. You wonder, what is the devil doing? God's allowing those children to be starving. God allowed it for what? For His purpose? For what? To teach them a lesson? And then you're going to tell me, well, God is a mystery.
Yeah.
And we don't know all now, but later on we're going to know.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to tell me?
I also don't believe it that way, because I know that God, as much as there's a reason for everything, God reveals that reason to us.
Well, I wish he would hurry up and reveal to us about these bad leaders. One of them, what's going on in the United States right now, where it's been going on, and what's going on in all this stuff. I want him to reveal to me. I want him to reveal to us why we're on the bottom and everybody else on top, and we're the richest people in the world with all that we have here. Every time you dig a hole someplace in Africa, they tell you they found some gold or something.
But we don't benefit from that.
We don't what?
We don't benefit from their gold. And
Why? God gave it to you. How come you are not benefiting?
Ignorance. We give it.
But why don't Jesus do something about your ignorance? People are starving because they see. This is what I'm saying. I'm not mocking it. I'm saying that what we've been taught is a lie.
True.
And see, what really made me know is a lie is because of my own experience. But I'm going to tell you something. The things you put that are in that Bible, a lot of the things it said with faith. Faith is not something you have when you see it, feel it, or taste it. It's something you have regardless of what anybody says to you.
True.
I fell down 14 concrete steps. And my head right now is not really round. It got a dump here and a dump there and whatever. But I knew for a fact if I told myself that I was not going to die, I was going to live, that I'd be all right,
Okay.
Don't just watch, act. Learn the history, share the truth, stand for justice, and be part of the change.
Hey, this is Janelle, and you're watching Africa Speak.